99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Without further ado, let's get to the news in detail. At least 3 promising world-class large-scale gold mining operations are to be established here soon, Dr. Ashley Singh told business executives on Thursday at the Marriott Hotel. He was at the time delivering the feature address at the Private Sector Commission's annual general meeting. Regarding the gold mining operations, Dr. Singh said each of the operations will be bigger than Omai Gold Mines, one of the largest gold operations ever experienced locally. He said emphasis will be placed on ensuring an emerging rapidly growing and highly competitive non-oil economy that will also include agriculture. Meanwhile, Dr. Singh also announced that Guyana was preparing to export manganese for the first time in 54 years. Dr. Singh told the gathering that ships docked at the Northwest District are being loaded with the mineral for export. In other news, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat has reiterated the government's position that it is in no rush to develop a new production sharing agreement for its offshore oil development. Be that as it may, the Kawa-1 light oil and gas discovery in the country's Quarantine block may very well see a new agreement being signed with developers, Canada-based CGX Energy Inc. and its partner, Frontera Energy Corporation, in the near future. Bharat was at the time attending the Offshore Technology Conference held in Houston, Texas, when he informed that Guyana is also looking for a long-term arrangement with the ideal partner to market the country's oil. After a more than 20-year search, the joint venture by CGX Energy and Frontera Energy announced in January that it had found crude in its Kawa-1 well in the Quarantine block. In other news, amid the lowering of the guard here with little enforcement of the COVID-19 measurements, there has been a marked resurgence of new cases and hospitalizations. Guyana is virtually thrown away with all protocols it had implemented to protect citizens against the disease. This includes less testing, lifting of the curfew, and the non-enforcement of mask wearing. This is so despite warning from the Pan American Health Organization. Based on count, some 169 cases have been recorded for the week so far. According to the Ministry of Health's dashboard, Guyana recorded 52 cases on Thursday to add to the 56 recorded on Wednesday. 4 persons remain in the COVID-19 ICU. Back in March, the Pan American Health Organization had warned that while public health measures were being lifted in many parts of the Americas, it was too soon for countries to lower their guard. Meanwhile, the lawyer for TIG Insurance Company on Tuesday urged the judges in the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit to abandon the ruling of a federal district judge who presided over a case involving ExxonMobil Corporation, a company he owns stock in. Exxon had submitted a motion in the Manhattan Federal District Court to lift a stay and confirm the arbitral award against TIG Insurance Company. In return, the insurance company had filed a cross motion to vacate the award. Judge Edgardo Ramos was the judge who presided over the lawsuit between Exxon and TIG. The lawsuit was in relation to pollution, and at the time of the litigation, Judge Ramos owned between $15,000 and $50,000 of Exxon stock. And just before we head to a break, let's tell you that in the absence of a gas leak management plan, Guyanese are clueless not only about the likely damage that can be caused as a result of a possible leak from the pipeline, which will be used to transport the natural resource, but also the likely response from the project developer, ExxonMobil. But when asked about its responsibility as a public consultation hosted on Wednesday, the oil company merely assured that it will not walk away from any incidents, but will do the right thing. This is according to the Gas to Energy Project Manager, Mr. Friedrich Crispin. While responding to a question, he explained that lawyers often advise not to talk about taking responsibility, as this often ties the company to legal consequences. When he was pressured further to say when a document would be signed, specifically to secure an insurance policy to cover any mishaps, Crispin said he could not respond. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 13 in Guyana. We will resume after the break.
Nothing in life is free, but the MyDigiCell app is. You don't need to be on a data plan to use the app. You can conveniently chat with Ruby or an agent for help. Check your account balance. Activate a Prime bundle or gift it to a friend. Send credit. Check the Georgetown and Burpees Bridge schedules. Activate a roaming plan. Play Shake to Win for cool prizes. So don't worry about a data plan, buddy. Download the MyDigiCell app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. Digicel, better together.
The Government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the CARICOM Secretariat, will be hosting the premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo with the aim of achieving 25% food security within CARICOM member states. It's an opportunity to promote dialogue among key stakeholders, develop partnerships between local and foreign investors, farmers and distributors. It's also an opportunity to showcase your goods and services with an estimated listing of over 300 local and international delegates. It's the premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo, hosted at the Arthur Chung Convention Center from the 19th to the 21st of May. For more information on registration, email agri.invest@moa.gov.gy or call 592-223-7526. For booth allocation and branding, email agriexpogy@gmail.com or call 592-625-8551.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. A three-vehicle crash on the Bushy Park Maikoni Public Road on the east coast of Demerara on Thursday has resulted in the death of a 26-year-old farmer and welder of Quakers Hall, Maikoni, while two others are hospitalized in an unconscious state. The dead man has been identified as Narishwar Arjun, called Ryan. Investigators reveal that the accident occurred at 7 hours 40 and involved motor vehicle PCC 5219 driven by Arjun and a motorcar HD 2859 driven by 26-year-old Kevin Baggett, and a motor van driven by 19-year-old Jatan Suklal. Meanwhile, the Attorney General Chambers and the Ministry of Legal Affairs has defended building a shed to park vehicles, money which can be used to house at least two poor families, many of whom are struggling to access state lands and loans to build their dream homes. The ministry said a simple inquiry from the ministry or an examination of the bid documents would have provided the relevant information needed. The ministry said such resorts would have revealed that the current parking shed is decades old, is dilapidated, and unless demolished or repaired, would damage government and private vehicles parked under it. Sources said that the ministry is tearing down the old shed and is replacing it with a bigger one to accommodate more vehicles. Still, the source said the estimated amount is ridiculous. As the ministry embarks on this project, it should be noted that the money, which was stated as the estimated cost, can build a 20 by 30 foot turnkey home with inside toilet and bath facilities and still have a minimum of $3 million remaining. In other news, the Private Sector Commission held its 30th annual general meeting on Thursday, May 12th at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown. As is customary, the business section of the AGM saw the council electing executive members of the Private Sector Commission who will serve for the period 2022 to 2023. As such, the Commission announced the re-election of Mr. Paul Chung as Chairman, Mr. Ryan Alexander as Vice Chairman, re-election of Mr. Ramesh Duku as Honorary Secretary, and re-election of Mr. Kumal Singh as Treasurer. In a statement, the Private Sector Commission expressed gratitude to its members for their participation in the process and said it looks forward to their continued support in the execution of the Commission's mandate. And to wrap things up, a motorcyclist succumbed to his injuries on Wednesday night hours after hitting a 13-year-old boy along Mandela Avenue in the vicinity of the Botanical Gardens. The deceased has been identified as Thakur Rajnarayan of Sheriff Street, Georgetown, and according to police, the accident took place around 16 hours 30. Traffic investigators learned that Rajnarayan was riding south along Mandela Avenue while the boy was attempting to cross the road. As a result, his bike collided with the teen and both of them fell onto the roadway. Doctors treated the teen for pain about his body and sent him away, while the biker was admitted for injuries and abrasions to his body. While receiving treatment at the hospital's accident and emergency unit, Rajanarayan passed away around 22 hours 10. And now we close things off with the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News. Schemers must not be allowed to masquerade as leaders. Do you believe in curses? Well, it is said that curses can follow an individual, a family, or even an entire nation if they are not broken. Given the daily manifestations in this land where evil is being embraced and good is being denounced, where the nation has at its helm schemers masquerading as leaders, and the people seem inclined to worship them, there is no doubt that immorality abounds. It becomes even clearer, and much more worrying, when many of our religious leaders are silent and seem fearful to stand up for truth and righteousness. It is for this reason that we must stand up, call out and shame those scheming leaders, wherever they are, who have had a hand in bringing curses upon this nation. Guyana will rise again, and every hindrance to this movement we reject and condemn to the abyss. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of